Hello everyone, my name is Martin Mina, and for this portion of our project, I'm going to take you through the chocolate revolution, whose outcome was making chocolate available for everyone. Let me explain. So, did you know that chocolate was once a luxury treat only exclusive for the wealthy and the ruling classes? So, my fascination and curiosity with chocolate is primarily in its production chain, from its harvesting to processing, packaging, and most importantly, the consumption. Right. So to begin with, as my colleague had previously mentioned, chocolate was first found in Mesoamerica and was brought to Europe through Spain by Spanish explorers. And was brought in as a it was brought in as an expensive import because of the cost of production and the time and the labor that was involved in just getting the product. Imagine the time it took for the explorers to leave Europe, go to America, get the plant, harvest it, break out the pods, dry, ferment the seeds, ferment the beans, dry them, roast them if they did, and then mix them with honey and then bring it back all the way to America. So it was quite expensive, and it quickly became a symbol of luxury. But outside of that, it was also consumed for its health benefits. It has a lot of soluble fibers, which are good for digestion, and minerals such as iron, manganese, copper, magnesium, phosphorus, and zinc. And it's also an antioxidant, which makes it a perfect excuse for dessert. So, since this product was so rare and so expensive, Europe moved to have their own colonial plantations in the equatorial regions, and they used African slave labor to, work the fields. And after a while, the cocoa press was invented, and this led to a significant drop in the price of chocolate. So chocolate now moved from being a luxury treat to a common but classy confectionery. So the process involved growing the trees, which took about 6 to 9 months, the cocoa trees, and then plucking and opening the pods. The pods are almost the size of a football, so you have to harvest them with a machete by hand, get them out, break them, get the beans out, uh, pull them on in like banana leaves, cover them, leave them out in the sun for about 2 to 3 days for them to ferment, and then dry them, roast them, grind them, after roasting them into a fine powder. Now, some of this is packaged and sent off to bakers, and then the rest is mixed with milk or honey or whatever other flavorings that you'd want to add. And then it's molded, cooled, wrapped, and then shipped all over the world for me and you to consume. It's not a bit of the history. So the first chocolate bar was made by J.S. Fry and Sons in Britain, and then their direct competition was by Cadbury. And Cadbury had a Valentine's box, and they also came up with the Easter egg, and they also received a royal tender or a royal tender from the government at the time, and this was in 1879, and then they received one in 1955 from Queen Victoria that exists till date. And in Switzerland, a man by the name Daniel Peter, who's a chocolatier, teamed up with Henry Nestle, who had invented powdered milk, and together they mixed powdered milk with chocolate, and they made milk chocolate, which also lowered the cost of production a bit because it was less chocolate per bar, and the milk produced a smooth and creamy taste. And then moving over to the U.S., Milton Hershey, he was a chocolate American pioneer. He sold his caramel candy company for $1 million. He bought farmland near his hometown and built a whole factory town. And he sourced his milk from around and his cane sugar from Cuba. Um, and he made the Hershey's we know today. And then a couple of years after that, or by the end of the decade at least, the 19th century, I believe, there were 40,000 different chocolate bars. There's a lot of companies all emerged, like Milky Way, Snickers, Mars, M&M, all emerged after Milton Hershey did his thing with Hershey. Forgive me. Yeah. Now moving on to the sales. So worldwide, chocolate has sold for, retail sales of about 100 billion, a quarter of which only comes from the U.S. alone. That's a lot of chocolate being consumed in the States. And two-thirds of the cultivation of the cocoa plant shifted to Africa, in countries like Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, and Nigeria. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So chocolate once was a luxury treat and now has become a common but still classic confectionery. Thank you for listening.